having Mr. Zeashan, Syed Zeashan. So അദ്ദേഹത്തെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ again we have to go back when I used to teach in a college called PA College of Engineering. ആ കോളേജിലെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ ആയിരുന്നു Zeashan's father, Dr. Abdul Sharif. സോ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ കോളേജിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ മകനെ പഠിപ്പിക്കേണ്ട ഒരു അവസ്ഥയായിരുന്നു. സോ ഇറ്റ് വാസ് ലൈക്ക് വാക്കിംഗ് ത്രൂ എ ടൈറ്റ് റോപ്പ്. I hope Zeashan will understand the gravity now. So ഇന്ന് Zeashan നമ്മോടൊപ്പം ചേർന്നിരിക്കുന്നത് to help us to understand the journey of UPSC exams. So UPSC can make our life or break our life. So it is a very tight rope. Walking through that is very demanding. സോ അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് കൂടുതൽ അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും UPSC എക്സാമിന് പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ UPSC എക്സാമിനേഷന് വേണ്ടി പ്ലാൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഡ്രീം ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാരൊക്കെ അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. അഗെയിൻ Zeashan ഹാവ് എ റൂട്ട് ഇൻ കാസർഗോഡ്, കേരള. മലയാളമാണ്, പക്ഷെ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് മലയാളം സംസാരിക്കാൻ അറിയില്ല ഫ്ലുവന്റ്ലി. സോ ഹി ഈസ് കംഫർട്ടബിൾ ഇൻ ഇംഗ്ലീഷ്. സോ അഗെയിൻ എന്റെ ചോദ്യം മലയാളത്തിലും, അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് മലയാളം അറിയാം. He likes Malayalam movies and so many other artistic forms. So let's start. Zeashan, long time. I think like after long time we are talking. Okay, that in live.
Yes. I think we had a phone call once in between, but and proper interaction like this, I think that's when you left PA. I think in my final year or something. You were teaching some product lifecycle management, and you had to, leave our class in between after that. If I remember well.
True.
Yes.
സോ ആ സമയത്ത് രണ്ടുപേരും മാംഗ്ലൂർ ആയിരുന്നു. ഇന്ന് ജുബൈൽ സൗദി അറേബ്യയിലാണ് Zeashan ഉള്ളത്, ഞാൻ കുവൈറ്റിലും. സോ ലെറ്റ്സ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട്. So just give an introduction about yourself, how you are linked with the UPSC and how you are going to help us to understand the journey of UPSC. You can give just an outline to begin with.
Okay, a small brief intro regarding my UPSC journey. So, like, I started my UPSC preparation, I think, during a little bit during my college itself, but nowhere it was, in an organized way. I just used to take books and newspapers and read, but it was not according to the demand of the exam. It was more like a pastime activity, I would say. In fact, during your class also, I used to read sometimes. The newspapers and all that. So, but then college got a little busy. Yeah, I think college got a little busy. I think third year and final year, that it's a little demanding. And I stopped my preparation. And if you remember, in my final year, there used to be Anthony sir. I think he was a dean or something like that. He was a dean.
Yes.
If you remember. So I got in touch with his nephew, who is now an IAS officer in Maharashtra cadre. His name is, I think, Vivek Johnson. He was like my mentor. Okay, so I got in touch with his nephew, and he was guiding me. And as soon as my final year got over, that's my project presentation. Within 10 days, I had to leave to Trivandrum, from where I got my first coaching. So I joined the coaching institute, and it was named like Ailana is pretty decent institute. And but I didn't study anything much for like the first 6 months, because during that time we are just figuring out. I mean, I should have done it earlier, but it's that phase where we figure out what this exam demands, because it's totally different. Because from engineering moving on to something which is so humanities based, and so that attempt was not very good. I mean, I would say like barely 3 months of preparation, I gave my first attempt in 2018, and it was, I didn't want to give, but I mean, I was like, might as well try it. Then after that, I went to Delhi. It was a scholarship program from Karnataka government, where it's fully sponsored and with a stipend. So I went there. I was there in Delhi for a year and a half. That attempt was my first serious attempt, I would say, and I didn't clear it. And then from there, I moved to Hyderabad to a residential coaching institute. So basically, I'll come to it later. So there was this hostel facility where there were just UPSC aspirants. It was, again, that was fully funded. So 2020, I went 2019-20. I went to Hyderabad and I gave my attempt during COVID year.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of challenges were there, and I cleared. And from then on, I've been clearing prelims. As in,
Uh-huh.
there are three stages of this exam. I'll come to it, but I've been clearing prelims. The first time I cleared prelims was in 2020. After that, I couldn't clear mains. Again, I appeared in 2021. Again, I cleared prelims. Didn't clear mains again. Then after that, I went to Jamia Millia Islamia Central University in Delhi. Brilliant. I mean, literally like one of the best experience that I've had. So there again, I cleared prelims, but unfortunately could not clear mains. And from there on, I moved on to other career line, and I'm here in Saudi. So this is like a brief intro into my journey.
Sure, man. It's a great actually, like just to know like how the journey was a bit long and deep. So
Yes,
let's go into the meat of the topic then. So about the UPSC, career
yes.
opportunities, some details about exam structure, syllabus, its schedule, like what are the details, the core details which you can share with us?
Sure. Like to give a brief intro for those who don't know about it. This exam, Union Public Service Commission, is conducted by the central government. UPSC is a constitutional body which has to conduct this exam every year. Not just this exam, there are other exams also. Like you have Indian Engineering Services, then there's something related to geology and some other engineering. So whatever important appointments with related to the central government comes under UPSC. So this is a British legacy actually. Uh, I think if you remember, Subhash Chandra Bose was our first, not a first, one of our civil servants. So
Mm-hmm.
this
Great.
was, so Indianization and setting up of UPSC was the demand during our freedom struggle also. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
important. Okay, so UPSC is tasked with conducting the civil service exams. So many people might have this confusion that civil service exam might just mean IAS exams, but that's not the case. We have different. So this is one common exam, the civil service exam that I'm talking about, but the recruitment happens for IAS, IPS, the foreign services, the revenue service, income tax, the revenue service, customs, uh, and then the railway management services, the postal services. So there are like many services, but the seats are very few. Totally, all the services included, there are about 1,000 vacancies. Nearly this time there was 935. Last year there was
Mm-hmm.
around 1,000. Uh, so for these many posts, the exam is common, and based on our ranking, we are allotted. Just like how if you remember, immediately after 12th we have an entrance exam and we are given good colleges. If we have better
Yeah.
ranking, we have better chances of getting good colleges, and as you
Yes.
go lower down, yeah, it's something similar. So for IAS gets over in top 80 for general category. IPS goes on till 200, 300, and other services you get down the line. So
Okay.
something like that happens, and so that's about the recruitment part. And in terms of eligibility, anybody who has completed a degree can appear. Any degree, it
Okay.
may have been completed in distance education or regular, doesn't matter. uh, so any degree matter, engineering, humanities, anything. I think there are some eligibility criteria with respect to degrees, because as you know, many uh, sort of diploma and all doesn't work. I think it should be a 3-year regular degree or something like that. 3 years, minimum
Yeah,
3 years or
true.
something
You're
like
right.
that.
Yeah,
Some
minimum 3 years. Yeah.
anything works. Yeah, BCom, BA, or anything works. So there's no limitation with regarding that. I mean, even a doctor can give. So anybody, it's open to all. But
Yeah.
a proper degree is important. And eligibility, there are actually, this exam heavily relies on reservations. Uh,
Okay.
so there is general category, there is OBC, there's SC/ST, there's EWS. For general category, it's the maximum age limit is around 32 years, and with 6 attempts. I think all that, probably you can tag it in the this caption of the video. I can share you the link later on, because
Sure, sure.
viewers
I
can
will.
find
Yeah,
it
I
easy.
will
Yeah,
add it in the
yeah.
description. Yeah.
Then for OBC, it's 9 attempts and 35 years. I think SC/ST, I think it's a further more and unlimited attempts, but age limit is certainly there. And 40% seats are for general category. The 60% comes in the reserved category overall. So
Great.
that also is a something to consider. I will come to it later.
Yeah.
And with that, the way this exam is structured, roughly there are three stages. This exam is conducted throughout the year, as in
Okay.
it starts from May, it ends in April next year.
Okay. Such a lengthy
Yes,
process. Yeah.
it's a very lengthy process. So
Okay.
yeah, that's where the trap lies. So like May,
Okay.
April,
Yeah.
yeah. So like May, the exam starts prelims. So it
Uh-huh.
has two objective papers. We engineers find it very easy, honestly. So
Okay.
there is prelims. There are two papers. It is held on the same day. It's a
Okay.
screening exam. The marks will
Okay.
not be counted. So we just have to qualify. I think around 5 lakh applicants. Yeah, 5 lakh, roughly 5 lakhs appear, and 10 to 12,000 qualify this round
Mm,
prelims.
still very competitive. Yeah.
Still very competitive, yeah,
Yeah.
because yeah, it's pretty competitive. It's not that easy also. Like,
Yes, true.
so
I also give an attempt. So I
oh.
can say a random attempt I gave immediately after my campus life. Yeah, true.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So for prelims, I can say there are some nitty-gritties about it. From paper one, the marks of paper one will be counted to screen you. As in,
Mm-hmm.
paper one will be taken, and whatever UPSC decides that these many people will go to the next advance to the next stage, it will be taken. But if we don't get 66.66 marks out of 200 in paper 2, which is the aptitude paper,
Okay.
in prelims is GS paper 2, in this aptitude paper, if we don't get 66.66, doesn't matter what marks we get in paper 1, we don't advance.
Okay, understood.
Yes, yes, yes. So earlier, paper two used to be relatively easy, but now
Mm-hmm.
they've made it very tough. I think 2023, when I gave my last attempt, there are some people who cleared CAT exam, but they failed to clear this exam. It
Okay.
got very, yeah. Then the 24 paper was like okay, it was a bit easier. So getting 33% marks in paper 2, that is 66.66, is very important, because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise it doesn't matter what marks we get in paper 1, will be screened off.
Okay, understood. So it's just
I
to
hope
cut
the
off,
yeah,
like,
it's little
yeah,
complicated, but I think viewers.
yeah, true,
Yes.
true, true.
uh, so once we advance from this stage, then comes the written stage. So until now it was the MCQ.
Objective. Yeah.
Yes. Now we have the written. It's a very
Uh-huh.
humanities things, purely written, very subjective
Okay.
answers. So we have 9 papers here.
Okay, but okay.
Okay. So we have 9 papers, and 2 papers are language, and
Uh-huh.
7 papers are GS paper 1, 2, 3, 4, general studies paper 1, 2, 3, 4, which is common to all. Okay.
Okay.
And then there's an essay paper. All these
Uh-huh.
papers are for 250 marks each.
Oh, okay.
All these papers are for 250 marks, GS 1, 2, 3, 4 essay, and then comes we have to choose one optional subject which is unique to all. As in, you might
Okay.
choose mechanical. No, that is a wrong example. Political science, international relation. I
Okay.
might
Yeah,
choose
yeah, true.
sociology. I might choose
Being an
sociology.
engineer, you prefer politics, huh? Like,
No, that also I'll come to it. Optional selection, because
okay.
engineering subjects are very difficult. Apart from
Okay.
electrical engineering, nobody takes engineering subjects.
Okay.
Civil, there are only 3 subjects: electrical, mechanical, and civil. So
Okay.
mechanical and civil, it's like out of the question itself. Like, forget
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so one optional subject you have to choose. It's up to you, your wish. And
Uh-huh.
there are a list of subjects. You have literature subjects, you have humanities, then there is engineering subjects, there's mathematics, physics, many things are there. So that
Mhm.
2 papers. So
Mm.
totally 7 papers, 250 marks each, whose marks will be considered from now on. Okay, it will be
Mhm.
considered for your final allotment also. And then
Okay.
there is English, and there's one regional language. You can choose Malayalam, Kannada, Hindi, anything. It's up to you.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so there, the marks of these language papers, They are
Mhm.
not really counted as such, but you have to pass them. You have to just clear them. You have to get out of 300, you have to get some 75 or something like that.
Mm. True.
Okay, from so this okay here I think around, as I said, 12,000 people write this exam means, and from here around roughly 3 to 4,000 advance to the interview.
Okay, so roughly like what, 30% again?
30%, yeah, one is to
Yeah.
three.
So yeah.
Yeah, 30% advance to the interview. So this I forgot to tell when this exam is held. So as I said, in May there is prelims. In September there's mains. So there is just 110 days, 110, 120 days of preparation time, and then after
Mhm.
that the interview starts in Jan. It goes all the way till April.
Mhm.
Okay, so from
Okay.
in interview, if there are 3 to 4,000, ultimately 1,000 get selected. Again, they're
Okay.
screening out. So for those who
So
didn't get
screening,
qualified,
yeah.
yeah, for those who didn't get qualified in any of these stages, they have to start all the way from zero in the next attempt.
Oh God. So you need to have that patience,
Yeah, it's a snake and ladder
huge
game.
patience. Yeah, true.
Yes. So that
So,
was brief. Yeah.
so that is the thing. I think you completed the process. Then, and then what about the interview? Like, any insight you
I
got?
did not reach the interview. My friends
Yeah,
have
but
reached. I
so
did not
what
reach the
is their
interview.
opinion? How they share their experience with you? Like, how healthy is the interview phase?
Again, uh, interview phase, it depends. It's a test of personality, actually. They don't
Uh
really
huh.
look uh, because you have already been tested for knowledge, but obviously we need to know something. Okay, but ultimately they see how we address the problem or a question. They want to know our opinion. They see our if you're confident or sincere enough. So all that is gauged in the interview round. But
Okay.
again, as you know, in interview, it can there is it's make or break. Anything can happen on that day. What the kind of questions you get, and probably some of my friends had slip of tongue as well.
Uh
At
huh.
that moment it happens, anxiety and stuff like that.
Uh
So
huh.
that proves to be costly. But some of them had great experience. So interview is a little dicey. I would say it's subjective. I think interview is for around 250 marks. Easily 50, 60 marks can swing either way depending on the day.
Oh God. Okay. And
Yes.
how tight is the interview process? Like whether it's a very strict or just to know the attitude, your problem solving skill, the way you think, how you will
Interview
act.
board is really cordial.
Okay.
Uh, but earlier it was very less factual. It was more analytical. But these days it has started getting factual a bit. Okay, so
Okay.
uh, from what I understood from the experience of my friends and the many transcripts that I've read, they go according to our level. If suppose we are in terms of knowledge, if we are in some level, and they get to know in first 5 minutes, and they go accordingly. If suppose our knowledge is good, they go on a very higher level. The interview goes on a very, because ultimately they want to gauge our personality. Because for a person who knows much, if they start asking easy questions, he can easily handle it, right?
Answer it. Yeah.
But especially the let's say if what I've observed is people who give interview in Hindi or other regional languages, even in Malayalam some have given, for them questions are easier because the board realizes how difficult it has been for this journey, and they're little relaxed when it comes to them, because obviously
Mhm.
they must have studied in regional medium and all that, so
True.
the board is much more lenient.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
So next question: who should get into UPSC as per you? Like from your great experience you gathered.
Okay, so firstly, there are many. Uh, if you want to, if sort of, if you think like you have the good aptitude to clear the exam, and if you want to bring some change in the society, and if in terms of career-wise, money is not that much of a priority. Okay, like
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, so last part I missed actually. Like, if money is not the main focus, I think so. In right, that's what you were explaining. Yeah. So, if you want to bring some change in the society, in your nation, and if you're not that too much into money, financial benefits, I think you should give a try for UPSC. I think there is some glitch. You're facing some problem. Yeah. Okay. ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ സോ സിഷൻ ഐ വ്യൂവേഴ്സിനോട് പറയാനുള്ളത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് UPSC എക്സാമിനേഷനുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചോദിക്കാം. സോ ഇറ്റ് അപ്പിയേഴ്സ് ഇൻ അവർ സ്ക്രീൻ. ചോദ്യത്തിനുള്ള ഉത്തരവും
Yes.
സിഷൻ നൽകുന്നതായിരിക്കും. സോ ഇഫ് യു ഹാവ് എനി ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ പ്ലീസ് ആൻസർ. സോറി, പ്ലീസ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, വി വിൽ ആൻസർ. ഓക്കെ, യാ സിഷൻ, കണ്ടിന്യൂ.
And apart from that, for me, like I personally I was aiming for the Indian Foreign Services because I found it very interesting. The diplomats, they'll be post in embassies abroad and all that.
Yeah.
So that I found was very interesting job. So because people who like to travel and enjoy the immunity, and there are, I mean, obviously we live in a
Hospitality of
globalized world.
other countries
Yes,
without doing much
yes.
work. Eat their dishes, understand their
Eat the dishes.
cultures. Yeah, I get it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And no, I mean, we live in a globalized world, Middle East and all.
Yeah, true.
If you're
Yeah,
posted, then
I
it's
was
good.
just joking. Yeah, true. You're
Yeah.
right. It's good actually. Very. It was a nice target which you had. So, how to start preparing, Zeashan, for this UPSC? As we understand, it's a very tough journey to undertake. You need tremendous amount of patience and determination. So, how you like advise the preparation
Uh,
starting?
I think the best thing would be if somebody who wants to start the preparation, I would advise to look into how a career in this would look like, because
Okay.
it should not be like we get into this services and then you're not happy. I think that is not because at the end of the day, what happens is if suppose someone from Kerala is appearing, okay, the chances of getting home card or Kerala is very less. I would say I would put it like 4 to 5%, because the
That low.
allotment,
Okay.
yeah, because the allotment process itself, it is very it's sort of random. So and it depends on the vacancy. Okay, like the Kerala government would not have had like more than 2 to 3 vacancies, and it depends on the rank. So in this case, you might be posted elsewhere, so you have to be ready for that. Okay.
Understood.
Yes, if suppose you are in UP or Bihar or Northeast, so how
Mm,
happy you will be when you're posted there. And if you get Kerala or Karnataka, well and good. But then what if not these states? Okay,
mm,
because there's a greater probability. I mean, I would say 80 to 90% probability that you will not be in your home state.
mm,
And so you should be ready for that, and you should look into it. And also, like, what if not IAS? Because IAS is in top 80. It is slightly hard. I'll come to it. And if will you be happy in other services as well? What if you end up being a police, or something like revenue, or other smaller
mm,
services like Indian Defense and Estate Services? So something like that. Will you be happy in such services? Because it's at the end of the day, as you go bottom, it's just a desk job, nothing much. I mean, there is power,
mm,
but nothing substantial. So that I would want the viewers to consider, whoever wants to start preparing. And secondly, I would say look, research extensively into the kind of category that you belong to, because that makes a big difference. For example, in Kerala, Karnataka, many communities belong to OBC communities. Okay, then
Yes.
there is for those who are from a lower income level, there is new category called EWS. Okay,
Mhm.
so have a very good idea of which category that you belong to, because that plays a big role. Just to give you a perspective, top 80 ranks general category, IAS gets over. Okay,
Mhm.
but then when it comes to OBC, it goes all the way till 300
Okay.
IAS
Okay.
itself. And in terms of for general category, by 300, all the allotment gets over. But in OBC, the IAS itself goes till 300, 310. So that much difference it can make.
So reservation has a huge role then.
Reservation has a huge impact. Reservation has a huge impact. Okay, and even if after all this, if you want to start preparing, uh, be sure that you have to give some years of your life to this, because the preparation, if you start your preparation during your college time, it's well and good. In final year or 1 year after final year, you're gonna appear, so you don't end up losing much time. But if you want to give if you want to start preparing from scratch after graduation, the minimum time it takes is 1 year or more than that, the minimum, I would say, for the all the syllabus to be covered, to improve your answer writing skills and all that. So after 1 year, if in best circumstances you clear prelims, you clear mains, you give interview, that again takes another year. So minimum of 2 years and maximum there's no limit.
സോ എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നത് UPSC എന്നുള്ളത് യു നീഡ് ടു ഹാവ് ദാറ്റ് ഡിറ്റർമിനേഷനും ഫോക്കസും വേണം, ഒരു പ്ലാൻ വേണം. ഡിഗ്രി സമയത്ത് തന്നെ ഇഫ് യു ആർ സ്റ്റാർട്ടിങ് നല്ലതാണ്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മിനിമം ഒരു വർഷം വേണ്ടി വരും ജസ്റ്റ് ടു ഗെറ്റ് ദാറ്റ് എന്താ പറയുന്നത്, ഒരു വാംത് ഫീൽ ചെയ്ത് ജസ്റ്റ് ടു ക്ലിയർ ദ എക്സാമിനേഷൻ. സോ ആ രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു ലോങ് ടേം പ്ലാനും വിഷനും വെച്ചിട്ടായിരിക്കണം യു ഷുഡ് അപ്രോച്ച് UPSC എന്നാണ് സീഷാൻ പറയുന്നത്. Right, Zeashan?
Yes.
So, next question. Why UPSC should be avoided? Because there is a dark side. ഒരു ഇരുണ്ട അധ്യായം കൂടിയുണ്ട് UPSC. പഠിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവരും കളക്ടറായി വെള്ള കാറിൽ ചുവന്ന ലൈറ്റ് ഇട്ട് പോകാനുള്ള ഒരു ഭാഗ്യം കിട്ടാറില്ല. So there is the other side also. There are so many people who are not getting the opportunity to get selected to any of the position in UPSC exam ranks. Okay, so can you explain like who should avoid such situation, and what is the downside, and what all are the career risks which we should be aware? തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും അതും അറിഞ്ഞിരിക്കണം. കാരണം ഒന്നും അറിയാതെ വിത്തൗട്ട് എനി പ്രോപ്പർ പ്ലാൻ, ഒരു റിസ്ക് അനാലിസിസ് ചെയ്യാതെ ഇതിലേക്ക് ചാടി ഇറങ്ങിയാൽ അത് പിന്നെ ലേറ്റർ ലൈഫിൽ ഒരു വലിയ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടുണ്ടാക്കും. ആ സമയം, അതായത് ഈ സിവിൽ സർവീസ് എക്സാമിനേഷന് വേണ്ടി നിങ്ങൾ ഡെഡിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത ആ ഒരു സമയം എന്നുള്ളത്, ദാറ്റ് പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് ലൈഫ് യു കനോട്ട് റീക്ലൈം. സമയത്തിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേകതയാണ്, ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ ലീനിയർ ആൻഡ് യൂണി ഡയറക്ഷണൽ. റിവേഴ്സ് എടുത്ത് തിരിച്ചു വരാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് സീഷാൻ ഈ ഒരു കാര്യവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാനുള്ളത്?
Exam. We start at we can start up whatever it is.
I think there is a small technical glitch again, I think. Can you hear me, Zishan? I think you have to repeat. Hello, can you hear? Yeah, yes, better. So we missed actually some of your earlier discussion. Yeah, please. Yeah, it's clear now. Yeah.
So, like I was saying, the age at which we start.
Yeah. Yeah, the prime part. True.
Right, and we are navigating through, we are actually deciding normally, like, if not for UPSC, we're deciding what stream we're going to pursue the rest of our life in, and within 4-5 years we'll be sorted. So we are going to miss that phase because of UPSC.
True.
Right, I hope get it, because you are so much into UPSC, you don't get time for anything else. Okay,
Understand.
and like, suppose I was an engineer and I started 2017. So see the gap years that come here, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, we don't realize. And what happens is, if suppose for somebody like me, I've been clearing prelims consistently. So prelims I write, mains I write, the result comes in December or Jan, and then I think the next attempt is in barely 4-5 months. Okay, and then I don't feel the pain of giving the next attempt, but I've lost the entire year in in this in this whole journey,
Yeah, that's our
right?
process. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to move apart from UPSC,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
there's no proof as such that what have you done in this. You can merely say that I've done UPSC, but nobody's going to give you a certificate
Yeah,
saying,
true.
okay, this person has done UPSC, right? There's no experience certificate. There's no.
Yeah, you're right. So, if not UPSC, then what? What is your answer, Trisha?
Uh, Actually, the question I would like to see in a very multifaceted way. Uh, for I've seen people, after 2 attempts they start working, right? They'll be pursuing something, they'll start working, or they'll start building up their skills. Majorly I've seen people who are into IT stream. They normally, during COVID I saw, because COVID was a much, I prepared extensively during COVID, because of work from home going on. They were working from home and they were studying also.
Yeah.
Okay, so for them it didn't matter much because they're working anyways, and that continues, that stream continues. And there are people who are upgrading the skills in this point of time. They're appearing for other exams. uh, Other exams mainly, I would like to say there are state services also, the Kerala Public Service Commission,
UPSC, yeah.
Karnataka Public Service Commission. You can appear for those
Yeah.
exams, and you can appear for other exams like CAPF, IB. Uh, so there are like other government exams you can appear easily, so that you can have a shot. But even if not those exams, I've seen people who are appearing for entrance tests for their masters. So what they do is they keep preparing along with this. I saw somebody preparing for CAT. I saw somebody applying for universities abroad, so that this gives time, uh, because it anyways takes about 6 months or 8 months or 1 year. So they'll be preparing for UPSC and they will try out all these options.
Yeah,
So
understood.
they do this, and some of them will be pursuing some certifications. So they do all this, and if not, if somebody who doesn't if somebody has totally given up on UPSC and starting from zero, then it gets a little trickier. Many take the master's route to get back into whatever stream they belong to, because they
Uh-huh.
want to have some mileage over. uh,
Yeah.
can you hear me, sir? They want
Yeah,
to
I
have
can
some
hear you
mileage.
very well. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
audible.
they
Yeah.
want to have they want to get some traction over their stream, and some of them they start as a fresher. I mean, it's a little hard start, uh, like how immediately after graduation they do some certifications. It's difficult, but do well later on.
Okay. So next part is bit
Yes.
non-technical, out of the script. Okay. What about the social pressure and the pressure from family, parents, the expectations, the burden? Like how you handle that? Because that is a major part. As a human
Uh,
being, you have to walk through that also, right? എങ്ങനെയാണ് ആ ഒരു സമൂഹത്തിന്റെ
yes,
പ്രഷർ
I
ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഈ
think
സമയത്ത്?
yes. Honestly saying, like mathematically speaking,
Yeah,
uh, the conditions are not fixed at the start. They go on increasing over time.
yeah.
When you start the UPSC journey, there are no conditions. Oh, go do it. All there will be like motivation, like anything. Okay, like
Full
just go do it.
motivation.
You can clear.
Okay.
No, I would say the motivation that we give slightly, because was having a conversation with someone yesterday. Should be very guarded regarding UPSC.
Yeah.
That particular candidate, I feel, if not UPSC, he would have honestly,
Okay.
because
Okay. Somebody is telling you, or you told somebody?
it's
Okay.
his journey.
Okay. So that is the bad part, actually. You should not like. Each time we have
Yeah,
such a situation. Yes.
yes, because he was aspiring for something. UPSC he had as at the back of his mind as the ultimate goal, but he had some other goals in between.
Okay.
So if he had pursued that goals would have been a good backup for him. I mean,
Okay.
it wouldn't have mattered if he cleared the UPSC or not.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens when it comes to family pressure? Initially, you have a lot of motivation and no pressure at all for 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
Later, it starts building up.
Uh-huh.
Okay, slowly it starts building up, and many commitments start coming. Somebody would have financial commitments to give back to the family, because ultimately they are supporting us. Somebody, I mean, probably like all this marriage thing and all will come. Some of my friends have got married in between this UPSC journey, and things like that start coming up, and
Uh-huh.
they start doubting your potential. Right, you
Uh,
might be potential, but this exam is very dicey. As in,
yeah.
you somebody who failed, it doesn't mean that he's not good. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so a lot of good people have not cleared the exam, and not so good people have cleared the exam. So it's
Clear the
because it's the
exam. Yeah,
exam at
true.
the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's the exam. How you perform on that day matters. How you handle things like anxiety matters. So they start. So all this start creeping in, and what happens is there's something called sunk cost fallacy that I would like to mention.
Uh-huh.
Because we have given 3-4 years into this seems to be the only option. All the other options don't look good for us.
Okay.
uh, Sunk cost fallacy is because we have invested so much time in this. We are like this. We have to clear this exam to get out of this, right?
Okay. It's a
To
bit
take a step back,
suicidal. Yeah.
yeah. To take a step back and see other career as an option doesn't seem lucrative.
Okay.
It's to for as a simple example, I would say if you go to watch a movie and that movie is not good, because you have paid for the movie and you have already sat through 1 hour of the movie, the best thing for you would be to get out of the movie, because the movie is bad, and you
You
can
don't
save
have, want
2
to
hours, you
waste
can chill
time.
around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but sunk cost fallacy. I will sit in that movie for 3 hours because I paid for it and I've spent 1 hour on it and I've already got popcorns.
Okay. Okay. So you will become
So this is what
philosopher
happens
also
later.
meantime.
Yeah, yeah, all this. So
Okay.
this is what happens, right? Because we gave four
True.
years and then we don't feel like leaving it.
True, sir. True, true, true. It is true, actually. Like I know a
Mm.
few, many people who like had a similar experience who shared also. Uh,
Yes.
though I am not that big admirer of those people who put their two legs on two different boats. So രണ്ട് തോണിയിൽ കാല് വെച്ച് പോകുന്ന ആൾക്കാരെ ഞാൻ പൊതുവെ അഡ്മയർ ചെയ്യാറില്ല. പക്ഷേ again for UPSC because of the particular situation, how to prepare UPSC with job or by parallel upskilling with a backup career? How to do the
Okay.
part time?
Uh,
Yeah.
Here, I would like to categorize. I mean, I mean, uniform approach would not do justice to it. I would say, like, for somebody who started preparing after your graduation, for somebody whose family can afford, to
Mm,
sponsor your education or for like good 2 3 years, then you can take that risk of giving two attempts without anything,
true.
because 3 years
Dedicated,
gap is
full
not a
time.
big deal in these days, right? Earlier it used to be a big deal, but now in the age of unemployment and recession, it's not being a big deal now. So that 3 years you can give, but for those who cannot afford, or for those who have already given two attempts, the first category of people, I would advise start upskilling along with UPSC, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm strictly saying this. Even I like the focused approach, but I'm strictly saying this because of the nature of this exam. I would say a very focused approach exam later on without a backup would bite us later on. So I would
Mm,
say start upskilling in whatever stream that you belong to, and this I've observed in Jamia Millia Islamia.
mm,
So many people who belong to humanities background, they pursue their masters in
mm,
either in distance, or even in they go to universities like JNU or something like
mm,
that. I had a friend who was doing his PhD in civil engineering from Jamia itself. So he used to study and he used to go to PhD. Okay, so
mm,
things like that you can think about. And also, like, with if for those who still want to start working, it can get a little challenging. It's not that
mm,
easy, because work 8 hours work, it's a little demanding. But certainly it can be planned on a long term basis. You might not 1 year might not be enough for those who want to work all the time and study along with that. Maybe 2 3 years of preparation they can start giving. Or
True.
some of my friends, what they do is they started working after 2 attempts, and then they've started working, and then during once they clear prelims, they take a sabbatical during for
Mm-hmm.
mains, and they
Okay.
take a sabbatical, and then they 3 4 months they study, and then they get back to work, because interview and all doesn't need much of a preparation. You can continue working and you can give,
Okay. Okay.
because
So
once the knowledge,
customized
the
approach.
initial, yes, in initial preparation is hard. It will need some time, but once you're confident with that, I think it's doable. It's my opinion.
Yeah, because you gave so much of your time and effort, no? So
Yes,
it matters actually, seriously.
yes,
Uh, Actually, we are very fortunate to have you, okay, because the kind of experience, it's not like easy. You spend your effort, time, so many things which we don't know. So we cannot talk just lightly. So just because you are such an
yes,
experienced UPSC exam expert, I just want to know, like, യാ പരീക്ഷകൾ വളരെ ടഫാണ്, അൺസർട്ടൺ ആണ്, പ്രഡിക്റ്റബിൾ അല്ല, കിട്ടുമെന്ന് യാതൊരു ഇതുമില്ല, ഒരു പിന്നെ ദർ ഇസ് നോ അഷുറൻസ്. സോ വി ആർ ജസ്റ്റ് ടേക്കിംഗ് അപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഗിവിംഗ് ദ പ്രൈം പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് അവർ ലൈഫ്, യങ്സ്റ്റേഴ്സ്. ഓക്കെ, സോ എങ്ങനെ ഒരു യു ഹാവ് എനി സജഷൻ ലൈക്ക് ദാൻ ഗോയിങ് ത്രൂ ഓൾ ദിസ് അൺപ്രഡിക്റ്റബിൾ സ്റ്റഫ്? ഒരു ഒരു നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്തിന് ഒരു സിവിൽ സർവന്റിനെ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ കുറച്ചും കൂടി ഒരു സ്ട്രക്ചേർഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു, because there are more eligible people, talented people, able people. Okay, അവർക്ക് സിവിൽ സർവീസിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങണമെങ്കിൽ there is two routes. One through all this unpredictable stuff,
exam,
difficult, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യൻ ആവുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യൻ ആവുക എന്നുള്ളത്, you know how corrupt most of the politicians are. The way is very difficult, tough. For a sincere person to get into the top is again is a very tough job.
yes,
So നമ്മുടെ
yes,
രാജ്യം എന്നുള്ളത് has to be ruled through these people, leaders. So one through merit, very difficult. One through politics, again
it's very
difficult.
difficult
So
again.
എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമ്മുടെ രാജ്യത്തിന് ഒരു എന്താ പറയുന്നത്, ഒരു ഏബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ലീഡർഷിപ്പ് from the younger generation ലഭിക്കുക? You have any suggestion for as a parallel system for this examination?
I think to talk about something in the West that goes on. So in the
Mm-hmm.
West, what happens? There's no rigid bureaucracy like this in UK or something. If you have
Mm-hmm.
seen recently, Donald Trump took swearing in, and many they take help of policymakers from who have the degrees, public policy and stuff like that. There are degrees abroad in the West, and even in India there is. But in India, we don't have opportunities because IAS officers are the policy implementers. Policy makers are the politicians. Implementation is done by IAS officers. They don't want to give their power off to anyone. But in the West, what happens is they take help of who have graduated from public policy or public administration, and there people actually get to make a difference there. That kind of system we don't have it in India. So it's simple. I mean, they do their graduation and then they start working with ministers, or even you might know some of them also work for the United Nations and things like that.
True.
That kind of
Experts.
system is missing in India. It's
They
only
take the
yes,
experts from the
experts.
Paris
Yes,
system. Yeah.
yes, yes. We our Indian government did try to bring lateral entry to civil services. If you know, if so at like there are joint secretary levels in ministry. So what they were planning is they'll directly hire bureaucrats from the private sector, from the MNCs, to these posts, because to bring in more expertise and more dimensions. But that was not received very well, and it's not being held regularly. So yeah, but apart from that, if somebody actually wants to make a difference in the society, there are other professions also. Like somebody might be a good lawyer and they can fight for the human rights cause. Somebody might be a good doctor. So I feel in every stream there's a way where you can help the society, and to recognize that stream and to give your best.
You
I mean,
should not be
it's
a
up to you.
government employee. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yes, because you are a teacher, and the kind of work that you do on social media, and also like when you are our teacher, so
You can be a
so
YouTuber too.
everywhere we get a chance to make a difference.
True. Yeah, and thanks for noticing. So I think we
Yes,
already exceeded 16 minutes from our what you call initially agreed 30 minutes. So I have many questions.
yes,
I will not take those questions now because it will again prolong our episode. Okay, so let's conclude
yes.
here. Thank you so much,
Sure,
Syed Zeashan. Please convey my regards to your father, Dr. Abdul Sharif.
sure,
And
sure.
thank you again for your great time. And I sincerely invite you for another session where we will
Sure.
discuss more about the problems, okay, UPSC
Yes.
aspirants or the preparing person are facing. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you, Zisha. Take care, man. And best of luck. Bye.